y'all doing? How y'all doing?
Ronnie, it seems like you've had more plays come your way the last couple of weeks. Do you enjoy that?
Definitely, yeah, most definitely. Anytime I get a chance to make a play, I'm definitely gonna try to take advantage of it.
For you, just the defense. Where do you feel like you guys are at right now? I know Coach Knoll said yesterday that he thinks you guys are on schedule. Do you agree with that assessment?
Yeah, most definitely. But the good thing is though, we've been winning. We felt like we've been playing good, but we know that there's a lot of room to improve. So we take that as a sign, as a good thing, and we're just trying to improve week in and week out.
He said he likes to install stuff a couple weeks before you might use it. Do you like that? Does that work out well for you guys?
Yeah, just to get it in early, just so when we need to use it, it's not something that we've never seen before, never ran before. So I think it's good just to kind of sprinkle it in throughout the weeks and stuff like that.
Has obviously held them to 7 points. They had 1 touchdown drive. On that touchdown drive, they kind of gashed you a few times. When you watch the film of that, what did you see?
Just little mistakes, eye control stuff that we know that we can fix. So we know it's not a thing where they're just out flat, beating us and stuff like that. It was more so mental things and things that we make routine plays on. So that's, a good thing. But it's stuff that we got to work on. And, coming in November, we can't let that stuff get to us.
This year, last week, they used 4 linebackers. You had a view of where those guys played last year. How different is the linebacker play this year from last year?
Tremendous. Those guys are playing downhill and very fast and very physical. As a safety, for majority of the season, I got to watch a lot of those guys make plays. So it's been fun watching those guys fly around and just, play football. How they normally play football.
Ronnie, going from the Penn State crowd and the atmosphere, the energy that you were able to feed off of that, how much was it to bring your own energy on Saturday?
It was a lot, starting from pregame with no music to just a little bit of rain and a lot of wind. So we knew that we had to bring it. That was a message that we talked about going into that game. And it's going to be like that, sometimes in Chicago with the wind and the rain and stuff like that. We knew that it was going to be up to us to bring our own energy and stuff like that. So, sometimes you got to bring it. Unlike Penn State, their crowd kind of brought it, so it was easier. But that's just the nature of the game.
Did you feel you guys gained some energy as the game went on? It seemed like as the second half started, you guys really started to play.
Yeah, I think
the energy level.
Yeah, I think the crowd played a role into that too. At that game, they were kind of getting into it. As the weather got worse, it would be like little moments of like rain coming down hard, and then like you would just hear the crowd getting more into it and more rowdy, and that just kind of played off into us, and we were just able to use that just to gain leverage on them.
Did wind and weather affect defense as much as it affected offense?
Can you say that again?
Does the wind and the weather have an effect on defense? I know it does on offense.
Definitely not as much as offense. If anything, we know it kind of limits their playbook a little bit, but definitely not as much as offense.
Northwestern did have some success, third downs of a quarterback run. What are maybe the things you guys need to work on to stop the quarterback run better?
Like I said, especially on that drive when the quarterback was kind of gaining some yards, it was all mental stuff, stuff that we were able to watch on film and kind of dissect it and realize what we did wrong, and we knew what that was, and stuff that we can't allow that to happen coming up in these next few weeks.
Coach Knowles was saying that you think some of the passing plays they had success on, you guys were so focused on the run, transitioning back to that pass was challenging. What is that challenge like as a DB when you're so focused on stopping the run and then they run a pass?
Yeah, it was tough just because they were in Wildcat a lot, and we knew the weather played into it, so we knew that they were going to try to mainly run the ball because they couldn't really throw it that well. But it's just something you got to adjust to. A team is going to try to run, pass, and you got to be ready for whatever comes.
Ronnie, is that just an experience thing you learned from? I mean, Jim made it sound like, one, he could prepare you guys better, but also that you kind of have to go through that in terms of knowing how to switch from them running all the time to third and 8. Now we got to kind of pass.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things as a defense, even on offense too, just a part of the game is just that adjusting part. You could train all week for something, and then you come out there Saturday and you get a whole new look or a whole new scheme. So you got to be able to adjust, and at this level, I think it's even bigger. And the higher you go, the more you got to adjust. It's just that kind of thing.
To have a game like that where you guys were heavily favored and then it ended up being a battle, is that a wake-up call at all going into these last few games of you guys need to play your best every week?
I mean, we go into games with one mindset, one goal, and that's to win. Now was there stuff to correct, stuff to clean up? Most definitely. But we go into games trying to win, and we'll look at the film on Sunday and we'll dissect the film and get better at the things we need to get better at.
What do you see from Indiana?
Depending on the quarterback, but you know, they like to do wide splits. They like to throw it to the boundary a lot, but you know, they do what they do well. It's not overly complicated, but they do what they do well, and we just got to be on our cues and be ready for whatever they bring.
They play tempo, right?
Yeah, I was literally about to say that next. Tempo's a huge part of the offense, so it's just a matter of communication, getting lined up, and getting set.
Is that an adjustment? I know it's week to week, but you talk about transitioning to things. You just faced a team that ran the ball, I think, 70 times. Now you're going to go against a team that
Likes to throw it, yeah.
throws it everywhere. Is that an adjustment week to week, or is that something you change your mindset from one week to the next? How easy is that to do?
I mean, we practice against a team that likes to throw it and against the best receivers, so luckily we're able to see it throughout the week on days like this and Tuesday the most. So it's not too much of adjusting, but you know, teams are different, so you do got to make certain adjustments.
How challenging is it when you're preparing for an offense that has used 5 different quarterbacks this year?
It can be challenging, but you know, this team, you know, they like certain concepts, certain things that they like to do, so you kind of get a feel for what they like to do, no matter who the quarterback is and stuff like that.
Ronnie, do you guys as a defense watch the whole team sometimes, video, and does it jump out to you as much as maybe it does others that JT Tuimoloau is getting held on almost every play? I mean, do y'all see that kind of stuff? Yeah,
we don't see it kind of on the field, but definitely kind of watching the film as a unit, we definitely see it. And I think it's a lot more than JT. You know, that defensive line is, as a whole, you know, as a group, you know, those guys are freakish athletes. So, you know, you can't do nothing but hold them at some points. So, yeah, I definitely do get to see it when we run the film back on Sundays. But, no, I don't really see it during the game.
Well, what do you think, though? I'm not trying to get your debates here. Let me ask you another one. I'm just going to ask you straight. What do you think officials are looking at there? I mean, do y'all ever ask that among yourselves?
Nah, I mean, I don't really know what they look at. I feel like they could call a hold every play almost, but I don't really know how they look at the offense versus the D-line, how they do that and stuff like that. So I wouldn't really know too much.
So with that in mind, how remarkable has JT played this year, in your opinion?
Huge. You know, he's stepped up.
I mean, last week, that one tackle where the guys hold him and he reaches out and grabs it. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's nothing new for JT. He did it for us in the spring. He did it for us in the camp. He's just one of those guys, you know, where the sky's the limit for him. You know, he has God-given ability to just do things that most DNs can't do, whether that's dropping back in coverage, you guys have seen it, or making a tackle with one hand and the guys holding him and stuff like that. So the sky's the limit for him.
How intense have the short yardage situations been this week?
Huge. You know, you got to get off the field and you got to win those short yards. You know, those are game-changing plays. So
I think more for the offense having to convert.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna do what they need to do as always. You know, I'm not worried about anything on the side.
Ronnie, was there a time last
Couple more
spring,
questions, folks.
When Marvin, as a true freshman, that you guys in the secondary kind of realized that he was maybe different? Is there something that you can point to, or a moment where you're like, okay, this guy isn't just
like his work ethic. You know, he was definitely one of the last guys leaving the Woody. One of them, he would come in, I think, every Sunday, or he would always be here on the weekends when other guys weren't. And seeing a young guy come in already with that mindset is huge. So you kind of already know where his career is going to go just by seeing how much work he puts in already. So I knew he had a bright future.
Ronnie, what do you think these last 2 games have done for you guys as a team, just as far as your resolve is concerned? You know what I mean? I mean, has it kind of tweaked your attitude even a little bit more? Kind of what Dan was asking about, you know, kind of buckling up and maybe taking a different approach to things, or I mean, have you guys expected something like this could happen as these games come about and to this point in the season? If that makes any sense.
I mean, they remember the games in November, so I think it's just a matter of just tightening down on all the little things. You know, it's been a long season, probably one of the fastest seasons I've played in. But you know, it's just a matter of locking down and honing in on the things that, you know, you might have honed in week 1. You might have slipped up on coming down week 10, but you know, our coaches have done a great job of just rebiting on stuff that, you know, we might have slipped up on in the past.
Is toughness something that you guys have to drill on every week?
Yeah, we drill toughness kind of every day we step in. We go out on that field. Toughness is huge. Coach Dave made that a point prior to this season, so we've been living on that.
You probably got to see CJ make a couple of those runs on Saturday. What do you think that does for this offense moving forward? That he's willing to run the ball and be effective at it.
Yeah, anytime, you know, you're playing against a quarterback who has that chance of running, you know, it just makes you worry a little bit about on defense. You know, you got to have a guy for him. You got to have someone who's ready to tackle him. So I think it's huge. You know, it adds another threat for our offense.
Does it enhance his status with you guys too? Even a little bit more that that he'll run the ball? You understand what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
yeah, we always room for CJ, but we trust CJ. He's gonna do the right thing,
Great.
So,
See,
Thanks,
Ronnie,
man.
thank you very much.
appreciate y'all.